Tuesday, June 17th, 2025, and we are in person in room 412 of the John A. Wilson Building, and via Zoom. We're convening this hearing today. The time is 12:14 p.m., 12:14 p.m., and I'm calling this public roundtable to order. Today, the committee will receive testimony on PR 26-178, the Real Property Tax Appeals Commission, Frank Sanders Jr. Confirmation Resolution of 2025. As a reminder, there are actually no public witnesses providing testimony today. Our first and only measure is, as I mentioned, committee's roundtable agenda is PR 26-178. Which was introduced on April 21st, 2025 by Chairman Mendelson at the request of the mayor and referred to the Committee on Business and Economic Development on April 22nd, 2025. This proposed resolution will confirm the appointment of Frank Sanders Jr. as a commissioner of the Real Property Tax Appeals Commission for a term to end April 30th, 2029. Mr. Sanders has had a long career in the real estate industry in various roles. His career began more than 50 years ago in mortgage banking, where he eventually became a vice president of Independence Federal Savings Bank until 1981. He then founded his own appraisal and brokerage firm in 1981, focusing on residential and commercial properties in the District of Columbia and in Maryland. Mr. Sanders has served on the commission since July of 2012 and has heard over 10,000 commercial and residential cases. Mr. Sanders received a Bachelor's of Business Administration in Finance from the Loyola University of Chicago. He is a Ward 4 resident. I'm going to call up our nominee and ask that before you see it, if you could just raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm on the penalty of law that the testimony you're about to provide to the Council of the District of Columbia and the Committee on Business and Economic Development is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you very much. Let the record reflect that he responded in the affirmative. You can have a seat. Now we'll turn to the one right in front of you. Is fine. You can have a seat. Good morning, or actually good afternoon to you.
Afternoon.
Once you're all settled in, you can begin with your testimony.
Okay. Is this red button on?
Yep, the mic is on.
Okay,
Thanks.
thank you. Greetings, Chairman McDuffie and members of the committee. I am Frank Sanders, and it is my pleasure to receive your consideration for my nomination to serve on the Real Property Tax Appeals Commission. I'm grateful to the Mayor Bowser for nominating me and honored to have the opportunity to serve the residents of the District of Columbia. I am honored to share my experience and desire to serve an additional term on RIPTAC. If confirmed, I will work with my fellow commissioners and staff in executing this important function for the District of Columbia. With over 30, but it's more like 40 or 50 years in real estate, I'm well prepared to serve another term on the RIPTAC if confirmed. I attended Loyola University of Chicago and graduated in 1974 with a Bachelor's of Business Administration in Finance. I'm a resident of the District of Columbia and have lived in Ward 4 since 1976. I'm a certified real estate appraiser licensed in the District of Columbia and the state of Maryland, and I'm also a licensed real estate broker in the District of Columbia. My career began in 1974, where I worked in mortgage banking with First Federal Savings Loan of Detroit. I soon moved on to become vice president of Independence Federal Savings Bank from 1977 through 1971, and was responsible for underwriting, purchasing, and selling loans on the secondary market to investors such as Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. In 1981, I started my own appraisal and brokerage firm, where I primarily focused on high and moderate income housing and commercial properties in the District of Columbia and Maryland. I've had the pleasure of serving on the commission since it started in July of 2012. Over the past 13 years as a commissioner, I've heard over 10,000 commercial and residential cases. I want to continue my service on the commission because I believe that I have the experience and the expertise that will continue to help the commission meet its overall mission to review real property assessments and classifications and hear appeals filed with the Board of Real Property Assessments and Appeals in accordance with the provisions. I'm a member of the National Society of Real Estate Appraisers and the Washington, D.C. Association of Realtors. If confirmed, I look forward to continuing my service and assisting in helping to push forward the current and future goals of the Real Property Tax Appeals Commission. Thank you, Chairman McDuffie, for the opportunity to testify before you, for this committee. I would be happy to respond to questions from you and the members of the committee.
And thank you, Mr. Sanders, for your testimony and your willingness to continue serving. Given that, as you mentioned, this is not your first term on the commission and is a renomination before this committee, I don't have very many questions for you, but I do have questions to see if anything's changed since the last time you were confirmed. And I will begin with the standard questions that we ask of nominees. Are you a district resident? And if confirmed, do you intend to reside in the district for the entirety of your appointment?
Yes, sir.
And which ward do you reside in currently?
Ward 4.
Okay, and has your address changed since the last time you were nominated?
Has what?
Has your address changed?
No,
since
it
the last
hasn't,
time you were
no.
nominated? Still,
1436
got it.
Primrose Road.
I didn't want to put the entire thing on the record.
Okay,
but,
I'm
all
sorry.
right. Have you been or are you a member of any district government board or commission
Real Property Tax Appeals
other
Commission.
than the Real Property Tax Commission?
No,
Okay. Do you or does any member of your immediate family have any interest, financial or otherwise, that may directly or indirectly pose a conflict of interest for you in the performance of your duties?
no,
Are you an attorney, and if so, are you a member of any state bar?
no,
Do you have any outstanding liability for taxes, fees, or other payments to the District of Columbia, federal, state, or other local government, either contested or uncontested?
no,
The Commission's enabling legislation requires members to possess certain attributes and refrain from certain conduct during their terms. With regards to the enabling statute, have you had at least 5 years of real estate professional experience? I know, try not to laugh when you respond to that one.
yes,
Okay. It was a joke because you have a lot more experience than the required 5 years. Not to date you, but can you, you've already discussed for the record your experience, and I appreciate that, and we are well familiar, this committee is very familiar with your record in real estate as a real estate professional. Are you a district certified general real estate appraiser? I believe you said you were.
certified, yeah,
Okay.
not general,
Okay, you're a certified real estate appraiser.
right.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
I mean, just the reason I asked is because the statute requires that certain attributes, as I mentioned earlier, and I wanted you to identify which one we could attribute to you. You've already done that in your testimony, and you just answered my question. So I think we have that question satisfied. Are you an elected officer of any sort in the District of Columbia government?
No,
No? Okay, you've served on the commission since 2012, is it?
well, actually, the commission was officially started in 2012. I was on the Real Property Tax Appeals Board since 2009.
Okay, and I want to thank you for, again, your willingness to continue serving and your longstanding service to the District of Columbia. Since the last time you were here in this committee confirmed your appointment as a commissioner, is there anything that you want to share new or different about the challenges facing RIPTAC or how you intend to serve and support the work at RIPTAC?
Well, I can only say that the commission has gotten much better with the mayor's new appointments, the new vice chair that we have, a couple of the new commissioners that we have really strengthened the commission. We are in a lot better position than we were 3 or 4 years ago.
This is in the budget process. We're currently in the budget process before the council. Anything you'd like to share on the record about the commission's budget, or any information that you'd like to share with the committee with respect to the ability for the commission to fulfill its duties?
No, I don't have.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to share for the committee before we conclude?
It's been a pleasure to serve on the commission, and I look forward to continuing it if I'm appointed again.
Okay. All right. I appreciate your testimony and your answering the questions today, and I appreciate your flexibility on the time of the hearing. We had a council meeting this morning that ran over pretty significantly. So thank you for being able to accommodate the committee and your willingness to serve. I want to thank your testimony. As a reminder, those interested in submitting written testimony for the record of this hearing may do so until 5:30 p.m. on June 20th, 2025. Submissions should be uploaded via the council's hearing management system on the council's website at dccouncil.gov. There being no further business for the committee, this marks the end of today's public roundtable. The time is now 12:25 p.m. and this hearing is adjourned.
Thank you.